Coach Dickson, thank you for being on the show. I've been following you on LinkedIn. You've been posting some stuff, and I was like, gosh, that guy sounds familiar. It sounds like me 25 years ago, rebuilding a program from nothing and trying to compete and trying to get my kids to understand that if we can just get to 10 wins for the first time, it's really a big deal. So I appreciate what you're going through so much, and I wanted to talk to you. So thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me. This is great.
Where did it start for you? Where did this love of the game? I know you played at Roger Williams. I know you played some D3, but where did coaching bug start for you?
So my dad grew up a youth CYO coach in Manchester, New Hampshire. And just so my whole life growing up, I thought that was his full-time job, coaching church league basketball. So to everybody I knew, my dad was the basketball coach in town in the area. Growing up, I always just wanted to be like my dad and be a coach. And then as you got older, you realized, oh, that wasn't his full-time job. He had other jobs outside of it. And then he went to basketball. And so that's when I really in high school and learning more about the college level and making a living coaching basketball. That's really what I wanted to do.
Yeah, because dad probably didn't make any money. He thought that was his job. He wasn't making anything doing the thing he loved.
He always talks about he spent more money coaching basketball than he ever did made. Never made a nickel, but he had the most fun out of anybody coaching.
I think you and I can probably still relate to that. Even though they call us professional coaches, it's barely enough money to call us professional
Absolutely.
coaches.
Absolutely.
When did you decide that was gonna be your path? Because I know for me, I grew up in a town of 2,000 people. Hardly anybody went to college. Nobody there was probably 5 or 6 kids in the entire history of my high school that ever went and played some kind of athletics in college. So for me, my thought process was, I'll go to college, I'll get a degree, maybe I'll come back and teach English and history and coach basketball. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll be a high school coach. When did it start getting in your head, I gotta put a plan together because this is what I want. This is what I wanna do.
Yeah. Honestly, really, when I got to Roger Williams, like I was saying, growing up, I always wanted to coach basketball. But as soon as I got to the college level and was around college players and coaches, and then just started talking and having a dialogue, I felt like I got confidence that I was on the right path. And like we were speaking similar languages, me and the college coaches, my assistant, my head coach. And I was like, all right, so this is intriguing to me. And this is something I can definitely see myself doing and wanting to pursue and get better.
I love it. Did the coaches at Roger Williams, who'd you play for there?
Mike Tully.
You still close with Mike?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Did Mike see that in you early on? Did he get that bug in your head, or was it the other way around?
It was honestly our top assistant at the time. His name was Dan Weidman. And we were just running through drills and stuff. And not that I was like the freshman coming in telling the coaches what to do, but just little minor things like, hey, his footwork is a little his hand positioning is a little out of place. And then that's when Coach Weidman was like, hey, man, I think this is a career I think I can see you in. And I was like, okay, that's definitely what I want to do.
What does that experience, having an assistant coach that cared about you that much, that saw that, what has that done for these next 10 years for you?
Oh, it's so much. It instills a lot of confidence in you. And now I know I have players that want to get into coaching going forward. So now it's like I'm trying to hand them the keys and put it in their mind that they can accomplish the same things. And if they want to get into coaching, I might want to start coaching them even harder so they can start understanding and getting better experience.
I love that. That's what makes the job really fun, when you can find those kids that just don't love playing the game, but they really love the game. They love every aspect of it. For you, let's talk a little bit about building this program at Great Bay. When you think about that first year and looking at what you had and what you didn't have, what were some of your priorities? You're like, this is what the foundation is going to look like before we build the house. What were those couple of things you said, I got to have this first?
To me, relationships are the most important because everybody talks about culture. But what is culture at the end of the day? It's the relationships that you have with your players, right? So I think relationships, one, is the most important because two, I am an extremely hard coach to play for in the sense of I tell people the truth, I'm honest, and I coach them hard because I don't beat around the bush. I don't think it benefits anybody lying and or not coaching a kid. It only leads to future problems. I know I'm going to be straight up honest with the kid, and he might not always be happy. Yeah, that's fine with me. I've accepted that, and I'm not trying to make anybody happy. But at the end of the day, I think if I build solid relationships at the beginning of the year, before we even touch a basketball, and that kid knows I care about him and I love him, it's a lot easier for me to coach him hard and hold him accountable.
Absolutely. I'm having flashbacks. I feel like I've answered that question just the way you did years ago. So I love that about you. And I just had a sense that's who you were as a coach. How do your kids react when you've loved them, you've cared about them, you've told them this is how it's going to be, you've been honest with the beginning, but you've said, "Hey, I've got your back. I'm with you all the way through." How do they handle that those first couple of weeks when you're barking, you're pushing, you're challenging them? They're You've pushed them so far, the legs are gone. They run. You want me to run another suicide, coach? How do they handle that with you?
There's definitely some resistance, you can call it, at the beginning. And then the thing I love, so this year at Great Bay, I brought 3 players with me that played with me at the previous junior college I was out in Minnesota. And so they know me. 2 of the kids have played for me for 2 years, and I haven't changed at all, at all. You know what I mean? So if I can get on the returners hard, and then the freshmen and new guys can see, oh, this is how you're supposed to respond to adversity, or this is how you act, and this is how you're not supposed to respond or act. And I just think it's returners and coaching guys that you've had in the past, and then using them as an example really sets the foundation for the program. And then you have to communicate with those players. Hey, everybody's looking at you. So I need you to, especially if, let's say I get on you and it isn't your mistake. It isn't your mistake. Just take it. Just take the coaching. And then everybody else is going to see that. Oh, Roderick Dominique, who's my captain. Coach got on him about something and it wasn't even his fault, but he took the coaching. He said, yes, sir. And he moved on to the next play.
It's great. So great. And I remember having those conversations. And your program is headed in the right direction. When you've got a kid, you can go to and say, "Hey, there's a good chance I'm going to be really hard on you today. There's a good chance it's going to look like I'm snapping my foot off in you. And I need you to respond like it's nothing. I need you to respond, yes, coach, and keep going." And when you have kids like that, it's so easy for everybody to get it. Oh, this is college basketball. I'm not back at the Y. I'm not back at my high school anymore. This is college basketball, and this is how it has to be. I got to listen to the words and not the tone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that. That's what makes what we do so much fun when you get the opportunities like you have. You're changing lives for the better. Those are the kids that are going to come back to you in 15, 20 years and go, "Coach, I don't know what I would have done without you. I don't know who I'd be today if you wouldn't have taught me what I was capable of."
That's what we talk about it every day. Like I was saying, I don't care if they like me. My job isn't for you to like me now. My job is for you to like me when you're 25, 30, 35 years old, and then you have kids, or maybe you're coaching, and you can see exactly what we're talking about. But exactly.
I'm going to eventually convince you can do both now, that they can like you now and in 25 years. I'll start working on it. That's what
All right.
I'd like to go back to that 26 to 35-year-old guy and say, "Hey, they can like you and respect you now. They can do both."
Absolutely.
It's okay. Let's talk about being a D3 guy, and then you've coached in D3, you've coached at the 4-year level, and now you're doing JUCO. What's the biggest difference for you, for that family that's trying to figure out, is JUCO okay? Is D3 okay? Is that a place where my son can grow?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The game is just changing so much right now with the transfer portal, every level. So I was an assistant at the Division II level at Southern New Hampshire University. In my first year there, out of our 10 scholarships, we had 8 Division I transfers. That was our roster. We had 8 Division I transfers. And
Pretty
so,
typical. Yeah.
and then I spent 2 seasons there, and I luckily ended up getting into the junior college route. But I knew getting into the junior college route that there's a plethora of high school kids all across the country and world that just weren't being viewed and looked at and recruited like they were 5, 10, 20 years ago. And as we know, basketball is just a trajectory. It's getting better. So there's tons and tons of under recruited, talented high school kids out there that just aren't getting the opportunity because of the transfer portal and guys getting older right now. So like you're saying, I think it's definitely interesting navigating the JUCO and the prep school scene. What I've seen now as a junior college coach, a lot more kids are interested in going the JUCO and junior college route than just going prep school or doing a post-grad year after college. I'm recruiting a lot of kids that I potentially, we're up in the New England area, right? So there's tons and tons of prep schools up here. And I'm in the mix and talking with a lot of kids that should be probably D3 to prep school range that are now interested in the junior college route for what it can do for them because colleges want older, college ready guys.
Yeah.
So if you go to prep school right now, there's tons and talented prep schools up here. But I'm just saying, you're still in high school. So you don't have the college weight room, the college education, your college transcripts. You're still going up against high school guys. It's different when you have to play against a 24, 25-year-old guy than an 18-year-old kid. It's just different.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's 5-star, 4-star, whatever star you got, and the kid's 24 years old and he's a man.
Yeah. Honestly, I think what made me a decent ball player, if I ever was one, I grew up playing in men's leagues. I was 12 years old playing in a men's league.
Yeah.
And it just the physicality and the pace and getting the ball out of your hands and not standing around when the ball goes up and hitting somebody and running the floor. Those older guys wouldn't let me. I was going to give up a layup every time if I wanted to play the way I thought I wanted to play. So I love that mentality of there's so many kids that are coming out of high school right now that have the talent, can play D3, NAI, D2, D1, but they're not ready. They don't understand that it may take a year, 18 months for them to really learn how to play defense the right way. Not just be in the right position or where your feet should be, but the bumping and the physicality that comes with that. So I think that's really great advice that needs to be an open-minded thing. We're going to talk a lot about recruiting in our second segment, so I don't want to dive too deep into it, even though my brain wants to go there. Let's talk a little bit more about what you're the difference between D3, D2, and that junior college. What's the biggest difference between those three levels in your eyes?
Honestly, I think size, like just guards are getting bigger. At the Division 3 level, I'm 5'8". And when I was playing Division 3, there was tons and tons of under 6 foot guys playing at the Division 3
Yeah.
in lower, smaller college levels. When I was assistant at Keene State, we brought in a kid. His name's Octavio Brito. He was the national D3 player of the year last year. He's a 6'5" guard. And that's what the high level Division 3 guys are getting. You can look at Trinity College, who won the national D3 championship last year. Their starting point guard was a 6'4" point guard.
Yeah.
These guys are massive right now that the Division 3, the higher level, the really talented guys are getting. And then it just keeps going up. Like guys that are 6'8" to 6'9", they can handle, pass, and shoot it like 40%. You know what I mean? There's just the game is getting and is growing so rapidly. I think that's the biggest difference right now. So all of a sudden you might have a kid out of high school that's 6'2" and he's off guard, 2 guard, maybe plays 3, he can play 4. Now at the next level, you have to do way more things than just score the ball. So you have to have other pieces to your game, not just, oh, I can shoot. All right, well, can you defend multiple positions? Your point guard goes down. Are you able to bring it up? Or can you switch onto a forward at times? I just think the versatility of the game is changing so crazy right now.
I remember graduating from the D3 school that I played at, and I took a job at a D1 coming out of college. And I ran the dorms for the athletic department. So I was around the basketball players all the time. And I got to know the coaches real well. Charlie Spoonhour, God rest his soul. And Charlie had me in and I'd coach at all of his camps throughout the summer. And he would let me come into every practice and ask he and his staff a million questions. But I would run with those guys in the summer. And it was like, I don't know if you've seen the Jurassic Park movies, but it was like the Jurassic Park movies for me, where you walk into the field and all these big dinosaurs are running by you. That's what it felt like for me from going to D3 to now scrimmaging with D1 guys. I was like, planet are you guys from?
It's a different world.
Yeah.
It's a different world.
Being 5'8", I'm sure you scrimmage with those guys at
Oh,
me too. And it must have been an awakening for you as well.
Oh, the best story I have for you is so when I was at Southern New Hampshire, it was during COVID. So all of a sudden, it was 2020, 2021. It was like our first season back playing. All of a sudden, we were being these COVID protocols. And you only have 10 scholarships at the Division 2 level. We only had 2 walk-ons. We had 12 players on our team. I was practicing like every other day. And I was like 20, 27, 28 years old. I was going to Coach Perry. I was like, Coach, I can't do this anymore, man. I was like, I'm washed up. I rolled my ankle. That was the last time I played.
Yeah.
My kids still ask me to play against them and stuff now. I rolled my ankle in practice when I was like 28 years old, and I was like, Coach, I swear to God, this is my last time practicing. I swear.
Yeah, I've been there. I tried to play. I was a college coach till I was about 40, and I was still trying to play with the college kids. and pickup games. And
Oh,
I blew out my ankle one week, and then a month later, I blew out my back. And when the back went, I was like, I'm done. I can't play with these guys anymore. Not that I was really playing with it at 40, but I could hold my own in terms of getting the ball out of my hand and halfway running down the floor every time. You know what I mean? So I get.
right.
Let's talk about the junior college level because I always talk about the levels D3, NAI, D2, D1, and it's hard for me to put junior college in a particular spot. Because at the junior college level, you might have a 6'9" kid that can play Division One. You might have a 6'4" point guard that can play Division Two, and they're just not ready for it yet. Or maybe their skill set, maybe their strength isn't there yet. Maybe their jumper's not there. Maybe their IQ, their EQ isn't there yet. Their maturity isn't there yet. When you talk to families about the level that you're at now, what do you want them to understand about that level of play?
Yeah, just gauging their interest of what they are looking for. If you're looking junior college level, in particular, you're trying to get to the next level, the 4-year level, right? So what are your weaknesses? What are things that are you trying to do that you need to get better? Is it getting in better shape? Is it getting quicker? Better jump shot, like whatever skill set you need. Trying to identify what weaknesses and what things that you need to work on. Grades, right? Make some kids right now, honestly, right now, growing up during COVID, they're struggling academically. A lot of kids are coming into college right now struggling academically. So that's one of the biggest pieces that we're seeing at the junior college level. Kids don't know how to do homework. Like they can't set aside right now an hour to do homework. So learning, literally, hey, I can teach you how to study for a test. How do we break down? How do we get a good study guide going for a test? And just, I think it's the biggest piece is just identifying weaknesses, identifying strengths, just in pushing boundaries and trying to get better.
It's funny when I talk to college and university presidents, that's almost always where the conversation goes. How do we teach 18-year-olds how to learn? How to be an adult, how to learn, how to communicate? And it's not in your job description to teach those things, but almost has to be to coach at that level, any level of college, because if you're not doing it, if you're not doing the adulting and learning and teaching them how to learn, there's a good chance they may fail. And you recruit them because you knew the potential was there.
Right.
What are some of the things you're doing, whether it be study halls or grade checks or tutoring or just things that you're doing as a team that you're really working to try and build some of those routines and those executive function skills?
Yeah. So the biggest piece is we don't have dorms on campus here. So we have to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? We just got to be very like with our time. We have to be very smart with our time, right? I have kids driving like 40 minutes, 35 minutes just to get to campus. So I personally would feel terrible making a kid drive over an hour just to come check in. Hey, all I have to do is read today or whatever. So what I'm trying to do now is a little bit better of like weekly one-on-one checkups and or reaching out and communicating with our advisors on certain kids if they need help and then trying to put the kids in the right direction because we have a great on-campus program in sense of getting kids study tables and study halls and extra credit help and whatever they need. Now it's just me communicating to these kids and showing them all the resources that we do have on campus if they need help. And honestly, the biggest piece is communicating honestly. A lot of these kids, they struggle, they take a test, they get an F on a test, they don't pass an assignment and they hide it because they don't want coach to know. They don't want so and so to be angry. And then all of a sudden they do and then it's too late to make it up. All of a sudden it's like you're 3/4 of the way through the semester and you failed the test and then you never reached out to anybody for extra help or anything. There's nothing we can do now. Be honest with me. Like you failed the test, come talk to me. All right, coach, what do I have to do to get better? All right, let's set up a meeting with your professor and then we can go from there. Just
Yeah.
open and honest communication about what's going on.
I work with a lot of recruits across the country in all sports, but try and tell all of them your number one job when you're being recruited is to build that relationship based on trust and honesty. I'll have a parent call me and go, "Hey, Sheila turned her ankle, or Tommy's got a shoulder issue. He's going to be out a couple weeks. What do we tell the college coaches? Tell them you got an ankle issue and a shoulder issue, and you're going to be out a couple of weeks." That's not going to turn them off. But the more they understand what you're going through or that you've got an issue, the more they can help you with it, and the more they can put a plan together. Let's say you do tear your ACL your senior year, but they still want you. They can put you on a plan with the athletic trainer and the physical therapy right away, and they can make sure you're healing the way you need to.
Absolutely.
I love that message, coach, how important honesty and honest conversation is both ways and how that helps. Kids don't understand. The more you know, the less problems you have down the road. Uh,
Absolutely.
You don't have dorms on campus, and that's probably I'd say that's probably 40 to 50% of the junior colleges on in the country. So it's not unusual. For you, you grew up in the D3 world. You grew up in that at Roger Williams and you were Keene and New Hampshire. You understand what that does to you as a person, the conflict resolution, having to set your watch and your calendars and time management. How do you build some of that when you don't have that built-in community on campus? How do you do that with your kids to make them understand this is still a family, this is still a place where you can learn off the court?
Yeah, no, like you're saying, it's definitely tough. And that was like one of the first things when I took the job and not having a this is the first coaching job I've had that there's no dorms on campus.
Yeah.
So the first 2 weeks I was on campus, I was like, this feels very weird just because there's not a lot of kids around all the time. Like all of a sudden, you just see kids all the time because they're living there and they're in the cafeteria and blah, blah, blah. But there's just it's just different here. So, like you're saying, as soon as the school year started, I said, all right, we have to be very direct in our approach of keeping our culture and keeping our guys around each other. So, I think we did a really good job this year of going out to eat, doing things outside of basketball, doing things on campus, just stuff together. And I think the one of the biggest pieces that makes a group close is doing hard things together and then accomplishing hard things together. So we're not right next to the ocean. So luckily we got the beach 10 miles away. So we spent a lot of time doing some workouts there in the off season, doing some hard stuff and then fun stuff at the beach and when it's nice out. And so we did just some team camaraderie stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I used to I coached in Missouri. It was just river after river.
Oh,
And so every summer we'd go camping for a couple of nights as a team and I'd take them on the river. We had city
that's
kids who never
awesome.
been on a river, never been out in really out in the country, going on hikes and going out the river and having to pull tubes out and making our lunches together. And those, man, I think that just changed who we were. We came back to
Absolutely.
campus and all of a sudden we were brothers. We might not have been
Absolutely.
brothers when we took off, when we got down to the ocean, but when we left the ocean, we were brothers. I love
Absolutely.
that. That's so much fun. Um, I've never coached at the junior college level. I've coached at every other level, but I haven't coached at the junior college level. And it's a combination of envious and curiosity I have because I say this all the time. If I could get a freshman within 18 months to really understand how to play defense, to really understand how to run the floor, to really start using their brain to be an athlete, I was doing something right. And then I had 2.5 years with them to develop them. You don't got that. You need the guys that you're bringing in. They need to be a part of that program and they need to learn really fast.
Absolutely.
You adapted to that.
It's definitely difficult. And one of the early things that I did as a coach is I identified that immediately, right? I need kids that come in and make an impact right away at the junior college level, right? Because you only have freshmen and sophomores. So being my first year here, I wanted a lot of freshmen. And I was able to work with them and learn and fail and encourage failure. And when they fail, pick them up and be like, hey, this is exactly what we want so we can learn from these opportunities. Our record this year, we're 10-13, and we've lost 7 games by 1 possession.
That's awesome. I know
So, it's
it's so
awful,
good.
but
Yeah.
it's exactly what we want, like, in the sense of learning from it. And hopefully, these kids come back next year with a chip on their shoulder, a crack on their shoulder, and remembering those opportunities and learn from these opportunities. And we have a playoff push in front of us, which we have, and we can use the adversity and that we've learned from this year. But I think these opportunities drive the program forward and learning from failure, learning from hard losses, looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I wasn't good enough tonight and I have to be better and handling hard together. And then it just makes you just so much more closer.
My 3rd year at Maryville in St. Louis, are the we went we started the year 1-10. So we went into Christmas break 1-10. And really, we had one non-conference game. We were going to come back from Christmas, and we were going to play the number 14 in the country. And then we were going to play our conference season. And my guys were just out. I was losing them. They were, we played such a tough schedule. I think we played 6 top 25 teams in the country to start the year. And a couple of NAIs and D2s on top of it. I just challenged the heck out of them. Toughest schedule I could have put together. And we had a conversation going into Christmas. And I said, I want you to take these, whatever it was, 4 or 5 days. And I'll let you think about these things. They came back and they beat the number 14 in the country. We were 1-10. We beat the number 14 in the country. I think we won 12 of the next 13 games.
Wow.
Went to the national tournament. I think we went to the national tournament like 13 and 14 or 12 and 13.
Wow.
Whatever. So, for me, I needed that as a coach because the messaging I was preaching, I needed them to see it through. I needed them
Right.
to feel that, yes, you can do this. If you just a little bit, 1% every day, you can do that. And that's what I love about you, coach. I'm seeing all that. I'm seeing you doing those things. I'm seeing you build that. Is that instinctual for you or is it premeditated?
I think a little bit of both. Just I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. Just like the animal kingdom, right? It's like lions need to hunt and it's just instinctive. Like you just have to just to live and fight and claw. I just think competitors, that's the way of life. And I think at times you could teach it, but I think at times just in competition, it just comes out people.
Yeah, I, I'd like to say it's just for boys, but I've seen it with coaching women too, where it's okay, I'm at this rung of the ladder. How do I get to that one?
The
You-
best way to put it is the cream always rises to the crop, right? So the guys who want it the most will
Yeah.
always be there at the end with whoever it is, whatever your record is. Just the natural competitors, the instinctive people, the guys that just want it with fire. They're just always going to be right there at the end fighting.
Yeah. How do I get to that next level?
Yep,
Now,
absolutely.
how do I get there?
Yes.
Let's get.
Yep.
I love that. What's the hardest thing for you as a junior college coach? What are your big challenges?
Not having seniors, not knowing I don't get to have these guys for 4 years. What else? I really don't. I really enjoy it. I think my job is to help kids. And when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I knew I wanted to try to coach in college, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do with life. So I think it's really cool. I get to be around kids that are uncertain with their future and just try to mold them. And now it's like end of our season right now. And I love my team so much. And our group is just so connected, assistant coaches and everybody. And so now it's just like, heading into this week, we weren't locked into a playoff spot like the start of this week. Essentially, it could have been our last week together. And we just talked about like sense of urgency, how much we all care about each other, how much we don't want this to end. And so like it was after our game the other night or last night, we lost to a number 2 team in the conference, tough one, close one. We fought. It was lost by 7. But after the game, we officially clinched a playoff spot. And it was, even though we lost, it was almost like a sigh of relief that we get another week to practice together.
Yeah.
It wasn't our last practice. It wasn't our last game together. And so now it's, oh, thank God, like we get to still be around each other again and still fighting.
Yeah. And what's great about this for somebody who hasn't coached, or there's a parent out there that's trying to understand the value of that junior college level, that what you're talking about didn't start a couple days ago. It didn't start a couple weeks ago. It started last July. It
Absolutely.
started last June. It started last March. In February, when you were recruiting, you were already putting those pebbles of that hope and that drive into your kids. And
Absolutely.
that's what's really cool. You're starting to see that now. Your guys, I don't want to leave. I don't want this to be.
Yeah, I sent them, we're in the New England area, so I sent them the 2011 UConn Kemba Walker story the other day. And our end of our last night, our post-game speech, I said something, and then our captain, Rod, brought in and started talking about UConn. It was just like, just great. These guys just love each other. It's awesome.
It's so cool. That's so cool. The things you just talked about, I can tell as a coach, you want that at whatever level you're at. What are some of the cool joys of being a 2-year coach? Are there things that you've learned that you're like, gosh, these are the things that really make this level special? Is there anything like that?
I didn't realize how good coaching and some of the players are at this level. I haven't been. So I was out in Minnesota it was called the MCAC, Minnesota College athletic conference, and there are coaches in that league that have 75% win percentages. And I'm just like looking around and I'm like, nobody's hiring. So Riverland Community College, a guy's named Derek Hahn. He just
Yeah.
won his 20, they're 25-1. Last year, they were 30-3. The year before that, they were 30 and whatever. He wins 25, 30 games every year. I'm like, why isn't somebody hired? Like, how doesn't this guy get
Yeah.
another job at the next level? Like this, like some of the coaches at this level is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Every level I've been to, I've had that same experience where I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy could coach at Duke. He
Like
would have
they're
no
so
problem taking.
prepared.
They'd have no problem at Kansas. They'd have no problem at UConn. They'd have the same results. Yeah. I'm doing some
Cheers.
consulting and I'm working with ADs and coaches out in the Northwest in the NWAC, the Northwest Athletic Conference.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm spending time with these coaches and I'm these 12 straight years of winning 20 to 25 games. I'm like,
It's
wow.
unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Depth of coaching in our country is ridiculous. So much of it is at the lower levels that isn't on ESPN, and people just aren't aware of it. And that's a big part of why I do what I do. I'll have a D1 coach on every couple of weeks, but for me, it's teaching families the quality of the Dawson Dicksons out there in the world that are just going to make your son or daughter better. They're going to leave Coach Dickson's program a better person. Their work ethic's going to be better. They're going to be happier adults because they know how to overcome adversity. So you're doing really good work, Coach.
I
Uh,
appreciate it.
What's your future look like? What do you want it to look like?
I don't know. Just I want to stay coaching forever. I always want to be around basketball. And most importantly, it's more building the relationships. I personally like being a head coach. I can coach, I can be an assistant, I just want to be around the game. But I like helping kids in, especially in tough times and adversity, because I've been in it for years. I know I can handle it. And I think I can help kids handle hard better and just push them in the right direction when it happens.
Yeah, I think you're a lot like me. Once I got an opportunity to be a head coach, I couldn't see myself, and I've tried in my older years to go back and help high school coaches. And it's hard to look over your shoulder and go, is this the way this coach wants it? Is it okay with this relationship with this kid? Is it all right if I push this kid a little bit or I give this kid a hug? It's a lot harder to go back to be an assistant because of that. Your plan and your strategy and where your heart is. And I get it. Yeah, you're designed for it. You're built to be a head coach. And you keep doing it as long as you can. And
Appreciate it, sir.
you call me if you need help with it, and I'll help you get wherever you want to go to.
I appreciate that.
You got me in your corner. Let's do a little rapid fire with you. You do
All right.
for some fun ones.
Yes, sir.
One word that your players would use to describe you.
Violent. We talk about being violent every day. Everything has to be violent.
Yeah, I did too, man. We talked about post play was violent sweeps and guards, violent sweeps of the ball. And yeah, I'm with you. I love that word. Talent or toughness?
Toughness.
7 days a week, twice on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Hardest part of being a head coach?
Losing your players at the end of the year. I don't know. I can take criticism. I can take I think the relationships is the biggest part to me.
Yeah, it's always tough losing your kids because you're like, gosh, I built those kids. I got them.
Yeah.
We have a relationship where we want. Now they're going to go play for somebody else. The hardest part for being a head coach for me, going from assistant head coach, was that I realized that 90% of being a head coach wasn't on the floor coaching kids. You had to do
Yep.
all these other things that are just come with the job.
Yep.
Most important habit for a junior college player.
Being ready.
What's that look like?
Not knowing when your opportunity it may be called. It might be practice, might be a game, might be on the road, like whatever it may be, just being ready for whatever opportunity comes your way.
I don't know if you watched this. It was a small little indie movie. It was the Kurt Warner story. And
No, I haven't.
story. And they showed because he finally got his chance. He got one chance with the Green Bay Packers. He was like the fourth or fifth quarterback in camp. And he just got there. He's on the field for 5 minutes. And the OC goes, Warner, hop in. And he looks at him. He goes, Coach, I haven't even seen the playbook yet. And he goes, I don't know what the plays are. And he just froze. And they cut him. They cut him.
Oh, Wow.
And it was the biggest lesson that he learned was, they give me an opportunity. I don't care what I know. I know how to play football, right?
Yep.
So I love that advice. I love that message. Culture or strategy?
Culture.
Best leadership advice you've ever received?
Best leadership advice. I don't know. I use the quote from Tony Bennett when they lost to UMBC.
Yep.
Adversity, if you learn to use it the right way, it'll buy you a ticket to a place you couldn't have gone without it. So I just revert back to that all the time.
Yeah. It's funny how often those 2 years of Tony at Virginia come up on this podcast.
Really?
I think Bill Cleary from St. Thomas Aquinas just talked about it the other day.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Because the next year, what'd they do? They
Yep. They
lost
won the national championship. Yep.
15-2. They were a 2 seed, weren't they? Or 1 seed?
One seed lost
One
to the
seed and lost to
16.
a
Yeah.
6. They won the national championship next year, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I love Tony. Are you an early morning or late night guy?
Right now I'm late night.
Yeah, me
Just
too.
in season, like out of
Yeah.
season, I'm early morning.
Yeah.
Like in season, I'm late night. Like after games, I can't sleep until
I can't
3
either.
a.m. I just can't do it.
My wife knew if she needed me at 2 in the morning after a game, I was at Denny's down the street because that was the only place that was still open that would serve me coffee. Because I had to go over the
Uh,
steps.
and
Right.
watching, then all of a sudden maybe preparing for tomorrow and your opponent and
Yeah.
whatever.
Rewrote the practice plan 7 times.
Yes. Yes.
One thing your team does every day that builds your culture.
Closeouts defensively, we switch everything. So just switches. Everything's defense. I'm a big defensive minded coach. Rebounding, physicality, those type of things that we do every day.
I was such a kind of a Bobby Knight guy most of my career where we physical, get through every screen, get over top, get into the ball handler. We don't get picked. So at some point I'm going to come to your practice and you're going to teach me how to switch and how to teach switching because I'm awful at it because my brain can't get past giving up on fighting through those screens.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
need somebody to just work that out of my head. I need therapy. It's so bad. I've tried 100 times to teach switching. I just can't do it.
It's definitely difficult to teach
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. I love it though. I love teams that do it well because I'm like, oh, it's so much easier. It's so much more effective. And I'm glad you do it. What separates good players from great ones?
Other habits.
Agreed. One piece of advice you'd give your younger coaching self.
Don't worry about everything. Don't worry so much about the big picture. Just be day to day, be where your feet are. Being where my feet are. After my first year being a head coach, I was just so worried about everything else. I was worried about how people viewed me, how my players, how people in the community, blah, blah, blah. I should have just been where my feet were and just focused on the work that was at hand.
We need to put that on a big piece of stone and put it everywhere in every gym in the country. Great, great advice. I wish somebody would have kicked me in the head with that one when I was 24, 25 years old. Coach, you are awesome. I'm so excited that we're going to do a little bit more of this. We're going to come back and talk recruiting in part 2. I cannot wait to talk recruiting with you. But man, you have a big fan in me. I am so impressed with you. Whatever you need in your career, you call me and I will help you with it because, man, you're doing it the way it's supposed to be done. And anybody tells you you're doing it the wrong way, send them to me and let them know. So thanks for doing this with me today.
Oh, it means the world to me. Thank you so much.